Day 4. Russia has stepped up its military advance as its troops enter Ukraine's second biggest city. Kharkiv is situated in the northeast, near the separatist-held regions of Luhansk and Donetsk, more than 400 kilometers from the capital, Kyiv. Several military vehicles have been seen moving along a street in Kharkiv city centre. The regional governor says Ukrainian forces are battling Russian troops and warns civilians not to go outside. Russian forces have attacked oil and gas facilities, sparking huge explosions on the fourth day of its land, air and sea invasion of Ukraine. Troops are trying to take over the Zelenskyy airbase. That's 40 kilometers southwest of Kyiv. An oil depot there is on fire after being hit by a Russian missile.
President Joe Biden on Friday instructed the U.S. State Department to release up to an additional $350 million worth of weapons from U.S. stocks to Ukraine, as the country struggles to push back a Russian invasion. In a memorandum to Secretary of State Antony Blinken, Biden directed that $350 million allocated through the Foreign Assistance Act be designated for Ukraine's defense. This marks the third time that the United States has drawn from its weapons to supply Ukraine, after doing so in the fall of 2021 and then again in December. Blinken on Saturday called the third authorization unprecedented. Over the past year, the United States has committed more than $1 billion to security assistance to Ukraine, Blinken said.
Germany has backed down on an initial refusal to send weapons to support Ukraine as it battles the Russian invasion. Berlin has now agreed to a major armaments delivery, including anti-tank weapons, surface-to-air missiles and rocket-propelled grenades. The policy shift brings Germany into line with other Western allies supplying weapons to Ukraine. Earlier, Chancellor Olaf Scholz met leaders from Poland and Lithuania to discuss imposing tougher sanctions against Russia on top of measures already announced by the European Union and the United States. Bolstering the NATO military presence in several EU countries is also on the table.
Working to cripple Vladimir Putin's war machine, a message of unity and determination from the President of the European Commission. Ursula von der Leyen on Saturday confirmed the EU had agreed to blacklist certain Russian banks from the SWIFT international payment system. SWIFT is the world's top interbank payment system, a ban on Russian institutions, a move described as a financial nuclear weapon, had met reluctance, notably from Germany, over concerns Moscow could cut off key gas supplies. Somewhat more unexpected, a move targeting the Russian central bank, whose vast foreign reserves are estimated at over $600 billion.
France has seized a cargo ship in the English Channel that the US says was linked to the son of a former Russian spy chief. The Baltic leader was headed to St. Petersburg, but was diverted to the port of Boulogne-sur-Mer in the early hours of Saturday, according to the French Maritime Prefecture. It's one of the first visible displays of the West enforcing sanctions on Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine. The United States Treasury Department has issued blocking sanctions against the vessel, saying it is owned by a subsidiary of Pромsvязьbank. The Russian lender and its CEO, Pyotr Fradkov, have been included in US sanctions. Fradkov is the son of Mikhail Fradkov, a former head of Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, who also served as Prime Minister under Vladimir Putin.
And as we noted earlier, emotional scenes from Ukraine's border as people flee the Russian assault. The UN now estimating that more than 150,000 people have crossed into neighboring countries, half of them arriving in Poland, some waiting 40 hours just to get through.
Tonight, the growing flood of refugees crossing into Poland from Ukraine's western border. Mothers taking only what they can carry with one hand, their children clinging to the other. The UN now reporting more than 150,000 Ukrainians have fled to neighboring countries, at least half arriving here in Poland.
North Korea appears to have launched a ballistic missile this morning towards the East Sea in what would be the regime's 8th show of force so far this year. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said Sunday that it detected the launch from the Sunan district in the North Korean capital Pyongyang at 7:52 a.m. The South Korean military says the projectile flew some 300 kilometers at an altitude of 620 kilometers. The Blue House convened an emergency meeting of the National Security Council this morning. The regime was widely believed to be refraining from missile launches during the Winter Olympics in Beijing, which ended last weekend.